Everybody see it okay?
Yeah.
So for today, I thought that since MaXus, what we're talking about is how we do referrals and how we collaborate and how we go forward with that. I'd give you some ideas for how we can potentially collaborate either as a group or as clusters of groups. But the intention for today is not to tell you, you must do it this way, you must do it that way, but to actually give you some ideas that we can maybe discuss in the Q&A or at the end of this session. So there's several different reasons why you might need to consider collaboration. The first one is we can't be experts or specialists in everything. And just taking my world as an example, I've got a degree that's heavily focused on marketing, and then straight after that, the internet came out, and then Facebook came out, and then Twitter came out, and then we've got Google Ads, we've got SEO, we've got all these different areas. And I don't pretend to be an expert in all of those areas. And when I get a customer that says, can you help me with video? Can you help me with photography? I've got the right people that I can work with to fulfill those areas. And I think sometimes it's a little bit dangerous to pretend you're the expert in something, to go out and promise to deliver something when you can't back it up. And kind of building on that, it's sometimes we can fulfill everything the customer's asking for, but quite often we can't fulfill everything, especially for larger businesses that they're looking for in terms of their requirements. So actually having access to other resources, to other people that we're partnered with can really help. And then the other one is, I don't know if sends a strong message is the right wording here, but it's around perception. It's when you go in with a proposal to a customer as a group or 2 or 3 more people or businesses, it's a much more powerful proposition. It has a stronger, it's perceived as a much stronger proposition, and it adds to the credibility. Just simple things like, I'm not saying large businesses don't like to work with Joe who runs his own business. More and more people are doing that, but quite often if there's 2 or 3 people in an organization, or there's 2 organizations together, then you've got that. If they at the right capacity, can they continue to deliver? What happens if there's an illness in the business? How will they continue to provide the service? All sorts of different things. So it just adds to the power in many ways. And in terms of the options, I've listed a couple of options here, but the top one really is the main one, which is one main form of collaboration is a formal joint solution between businesses that have something in common. It's focused on a specific target audience. Now, let me just explain that in a bit more detail. I've put in there something in common. You wouldn't, for example, have a hairdresser and a mechanic going in to sell things to the CEO of a soft drinks company like Coca-Cola. There wouldn't be much in common in terms of what you would actually offer. So you'd be looking at 2 businesses that offer, for example, within the marketing arena, within the operations and business effectiveness area. It could be focusing on HR and all things to do with outplacements and hiring, training. Having the more targeted you are, and the more you have in common in terms of the solutions that you offer, then the greater the chances of success. And I put a formal joint solution. It could be a legally binding collaboration. It could be just a very informal but very good understanding based on trust. A second one is a per opportunity, pay as you go, if you like, in terms of the mobile phone world, as an example, where somebody goes in, works with a particular customer, and they say, well, can you help me with this? So if we go back to the video example and the photography example in my world, then I know somebody who can come and help out. And then you can either invoice the customer and white label, if you like, so that actually the customer only pays one person for all of the services, even though other businesses have done the photography, have done the videos, and have done the SEO and other things like that. Or it could be that the customer actually receives invoices from the different businesses. So you can deal with it on a more per opportunity basis. And then the third one is probably not so much a collaboration, but it is about working together with other people, and it's just a basic referral, which is there isn't a specific opportunity, but I do know somebody who might need your product, or who may have hinted at needing your products and services. Let me give you his or her contact details and provide you with an introduction. So those are the kind of the three main spectrums of ways that we can collaborate. And based on all of those, the marketing and sales, it could be that you're looking at a specific opportunity that you know already exists, but in terms of collaboration, there's also an opportunity to work with people to actually go out and find the opportunities and to target the customers. And I've listed two here. The first one is actually working together on lead generation. So it could be providing a series of webinars or free training sessions that actually help out with the pain points and with the challenges that a particular target audience is having at the moment. And using that to get them to come to the webinars, to get to know the customer, and to introduce yourself and prove to them that you've got the experience and you've got the solutions to help them out. And then another example is a bit more direct prospecting, which is sitting down with whoever you're collaborating with and saying, right, okay, how are we going to go out and find the target audience? So let's say, for example, we're targeting soft drinks. We're going to pick on specific companies, and we know that we're focusing on the operations director or the HR director. Let's go and find out who the HR directors are in those companies, and let's either go and see if they've got a current requirement for what we offer, or let's go and have a chat with them to try and show them how they might need what we've got, because they might quite frankly not realize that they actually need our solution. So collaboration can be on a specific opportunity that comes up, but it can also be on actually working together to go out and find opportunities and find business. So those are the options. And I listed some things to think about when doing a collaboration. I've actually set up a limited company with a group of people that didn't work out based on the fact that we really weren't working together. And I've done various different collaborations, including obviously the MaXus Group with James and Steve, and we're running this at the moment. And it's always interesting to see what works and what doesn't. And the top one I put here is collaboration involves a high level of trust. If you don't trust who you're working with, you don't trust that they're going to deliver to the customer what they say they're going to do, but you think they're going to let the customer down, then it isn't going to work. As simple as that. I think it's important to clarify who gets what share of the revenue and who exactly is going to do what, and to have that clarity up front. What you don't want to do is get to the end where you've won the business, you sit down to start delivering on the opportunity, delivering on the solution, and saying, well, no, actually, I was going to get 90% of the revenue and you're going to get 10. That's what we discussed, didn't we? No. And you end up having that argument, and all of a sudden you're in a messy situation in which you've got a customer, but you're now arguing over actually who's going to get the money and who's going to deliver the service. So make sure you've got that clear up front. And I put in there Muller moments. I don't know if that makes sense, but if you've seen the adverts with the Muller yogurt, it's the pain and pleasure. I think any collaboration, it has its great moments. Working together with other people is brilliant, and getting customers, it's fantastic. But there's always those challenging moments when you'll disagree on something, or something isn't quite going the way you want it to. And I think you have to have that expectation that it does have its ups and downs, and that does happen. And you have to ride through the rough moments and enjoy the smooth moments. And then the final bit is the greater the clarity on, I put mission here, but what we're talking about is the strategy, the objectives of what you're trying to achieve in the collaboration, the clarity on exactly who is doing what and what the revenue share is and what the solution is. All of those key things that are important. The greater the clarity you've got on those from the start, and the better the communication, then the more likely it is to succeed. And when I say better communication, I don't mean, I was going to put open communication. I thought, well, actually open communication isn't the only thing. It's about actually communicating effectively. And we don't mean sending hundreds of emails every day, but just making sure that both parties, or as many parties that are involved, are all clear on exactly who is doing what, where we're at with opportunities, and all the important stuff. So when it comes to collaborating, if it's to succeed, clarity and communication, for me, are definitely the two important things that you need to have sorted out. So that's my very quick overview of collaboration, just to kind of whet the appetite and spark some conversation. I hope that's helped out. And what I'd like to do is spend the rest of the time just having a conversation around that now, and